Hey everybody, welcome to our Monday Mojo call. Today is, what is it, September 7th? Yep. Happy Labor Day, everybody. We are excited that you've joined us, and our special guest for tonight is Mike Salamun, and he is an awesome guy. We actually decided to do our Monday Mojo call live because we're both in Chicago.
Yeah.
He lives like, what, 6 blocks away or so?
It's
like long blocks.
Long blocks, maybe 6 stops on the train, but, that's it. It's still pretty close, guys.
Yeah.
No problem.
So why not do it face-to-face?
Sounds good.
So Mike's going to tell you all about his story. He's had an incredible fitness transformation. And again, just to kind of remind ourselves why we do this, the whole reason we share our stories is so that we can inspire others. If we see somebody else who's done something amazing, something that we dream of ourselves, then we know that it's possible for each one of us. Amen? Amen. I was doing church yesterday, so that kind of been like a churchy movie.
Appreciate it.
For those of you joining us on Periscope as well, if you're brand new to Periscope, you can tap on the screen to give hearts, and that just means that you like what you see. And feel free to follow by swiping right on iOS, swiping up on Android, hit the follow button, and you can even share this broadcast with other people. So I think, a bunch of people from the team are joining on Periscope as well. We're
all right.
Fully connected.
We're getting started here.
So I'm going to just pass it over to Mike and to share a story. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to just write it in the chat. And whenever you'd like to take those Q&As, you're welcome to do so.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to pass it over.
All right. I guess let's get started. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone for joining in. I know it's Labor Day, so you've had plenty of time for beer, brats, good eating, all that stuff. So, and if you were working here today and still stop by, appreciate you working on Labor Day and joining in afterwards. So, my story, I want to start actually before I got introduced into Beachbody. This goes back to high school for me. Growing up, I've always been fairly active. As a kid, did all different sports growing up, soccer as a kid, then karate, middle school, all the different sports. And so, never really had a problem with my health. At least I never thought I did, growing up. After high school, of course, went into college, and that's where things started to change. Luckily, I can look back and say I never really gained the freshman 15, the infamous freshman 15. So, my first year, I, probably wasn't the healthiest diet, but went to the gym a lot, at least the rec center, still ran around, still, stayed active. So, it was a good start. Unfortunately, it really didn't last. By senior year, I was working out less. I was drinking more beer, eating more crap. We know the college story with that one. So while I didn't gain 15 pounds freshman year, by the end of senior year, I had gained 20. And this was over poor diet, not working out, playing way too many video games on the computer. My diet consisted of pizza, Taco Bell, Quiznos, Subway, all those fast food places that have absolutely nothing. It might be delicious, but it's really not healthy for you. So, looking back, I can gladly say I only gained probably about 20 pounds, but you know what? It just kind of hit the point where, I'm looking at this, what I'm eating, it's not healthy, things need to change. And so that kind of moves me into the part where I actually finally did get introduced to Beachbody. I remember it very clearly, and I'm sure if you guys have all had those huge transformations with Beachbody, that late night that got you started, mine was the same thing. It was late night, don't remember which day, but I was sitting actually inside a Subway restaurant that had a TV. And on that TV, of course, came on the Shaun T's Insanity infomercial, and I saw them working out, drenched in sweat, literally working out in a pool of their own sweat. And it actually kind of reminded me of the workouts that I would do with football back in high school. In high school, I had a my coach was the son of a Marine drill sergeant, and so he ran the workout programs in the team in a very similar fashion. So, there's days where, working out, covered in sweat, and, early morning runs, after we'd work out a lot, we'd go outside, and, we would work out so tough that you would see the steam coming off of us early morning. So, and if you guys see, have ever seen like the animated Hercules from Disney, think Hades, and it was literally coming off that thick sometimes the early morning. And the way I'm telling you about that is like just looking at that again, that I hadn't done that in a very long time. It was something I wanted to go back and do. I wanted to say, yeah, I could work out in the pool of my own sweat and get that done. And it wasn't, and that's when I decided I was going to do it. Unfortunately, I didn't purchase the program until 6 months later. And that was actually because, I finally moved to Chicago. I was graduating from undergrad, moved to Chicago for grad school. And so change of city, change of a lot of things. And so starting a new workout program. And of course, the program I got was Insanity. And that's where my Beachbody story, really does begin now. But, as with most stories and most journeys, you have your ups and downs, things change, things happen, and, you kind of move around with it. I would say I did Insanity 3 times before I really actually got all the way through with it. The first round was really, as I'm sure anyone who starts a very extreme workout program off of really sitting around doing nothing, it's a wake-up call. It's really tough in the beginning, and that's exactly what it felt like. Days where I just was like, I felt like I was going to die, sucking wind, and it was not easy. But I tried to get through it, and unfortunately, I stumbled and fell, and I did not complete my first round of Insanity. I tried to follow the meal plan, but it didn't work out as well all the time. And so, my first foray into a Beachbody, I'm not going to say it was a failure. It was definitely a learning experience because things, change. It took some time to get into it. So I waited, about a year, and that's when I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it this time. I'm really going to try. I'm going to finish this, do it right. And, along the way, I also learned a little bit more about nutrition. My first round I was thinking with nutrition, hey, as long as it's in here, I can eat it no matter what. And I wasn't counting calories. I wasn't counting my macros because this was something that was still completely foreign to me. I was still under the old mentality that, as long as you work out hard enough, you'll get those results. And it's absolutely not true that I learned. You can't outwork a bad diet.
Not true at all.
You really have to be focused in on that stuff. So that's where I learned in the second round, okay, gonna get it done, get it right. And so I started that the next year, and it was during the summer. And another stumble came on this one. I got all the way to day 58. And I woke up that morning. It's a 60-day program, by the way. So I got all the way to day 58. I woke up with the most horrendous lower back pain I've ever experienced in my life. And I just couldn't even finish it. 3 days from finishing, and it was time for the chiropractor, time for taking a rest. And I'm sure you guys know that when you're working on really strenuous programs and pushing yourself, sometimes your form gets a little out of whack. And that's essentially what I did with myself here. I pushed myself just a little bit too much and was paying for the price for it that early morning. So, I struggled with that one. So I was so close and didn't finish it. But I can say, you know what? I'm going for it one more time. And
wow.
So third time's the charm. And this was actually happened, the year later after, it was a couple months of, I don't want to say rehab, but it was, taking it easy, getting, the back under control and, working my way up to that again. Next year, while I was studying for the bar, that's when I actually did and fully completed P90X, or not P90X, but Insanity. And so really finally, completed that one. Third time's the charm for me. I was following the nutrition. Then I got some great results. But, it still wasn't enough. Still wanted more, still wanted to see some changes. I mean, I definitely, over the last years of working out, I dropped those 20 pounds that I had put on since college. But, it was still wanting more, so to speak. And finally kind of got into some more programs, did some running ones, the Asylum, Les Mills Combat, which is still to this day one of my favorite programs.
Combat?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Not getting huge results, but I've never really enjoyed working out as much as I've done that one.
Yeah.
But the biggest change that really came around with my results and my diet was actually the introduction of the 21-day fix that I did later on. And so that was the one that changed it all. With this one, it was great workout programs with weights, and that's really where I found the most results, was with weightlifting, and then also eating right. This told me how much I'm supposed to be eating, which I was working with MyFitnessPal a little bit, but it was never truly on point for what I needed to. This one told me how much exactly I needed to eat, what foods. Before I was thinking, my carbs to get from bread and whatnot, or milk and dairy, and you got to work on really what works for your body. And with 21-day fix, I found out these are the foods that I really need to be eating for my body. And I can tell you, after only 6 weeks of doing the 21-day fix, I have gotten the best results of my life. And so, if you want to do the honors, I'd very much like to show everyone, after 6 weeks of doing the 21-day fix, here we go.
Share some screens. And
these are my results.
Boom. Look at that handsome guy.
Much happier in the second photo as well.
Yeah, don't you love those before pictures? You're like, I don't know why I'm doing this.
Exactly.
They told me to.
Exactly. That's one of the strange things. I remember when I did Insanity, they said do a before and after, and I actually never did a before and after with Insanity.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, what? Well, let's figure this out. And
here, let's show our
Periscope
people the before and afters as well.
So, finally, took that before and after, and looking back on it now, I'm glad I did. It's, it was never really a big thing for me, but anytime I talk with other people and they're going through their weight loss, it's like, you know what, take that before and after, and then work your butt off on getting that. And you will be so surprised with how things can change. I think it's one of the best ways to measure your progress. Absolutely.
A lot of people are caught up on the scale, the number on the scale. And why would you say that pictures might be a better indicator of your progress than the number on the scale?
Well, for a couple of reasons. One, I feel it's just an obsession that we're looking over the numbers, and that's just not healthy. It's not a good way to spend my time, or at least I would spend your time, worrying about that scale over and over again. You're thinking about it, whether it's changed, whether it's going down, how it's, it's just so much worry that, that's not something I would ever recommend, doing, over and over. Looking at that number, that's not good. The other main thing that with scale is, if you are measuring yourself every day, weight fluctuates a lot from day to day. You're looking at one day, and then one day you can gain 2 pounds, then you lose 3. The next day you gain 1.5, and then you lose 2. And that's just day to day how our body works. But when you measure it out over the course of a week or 2 weeks, or my 6 weeks here, losing, you can see it from before and after, and you can see the change that's happening over a longer period of time. And that's actually where you're going to get a lot of those larger numbers where you actually see a change. You see those 5 pounds you have dropped, or 10 pounds you have dropped, or, you can see from, no six-pack to an actual six-pack coming in. And that's, those longer time periods. You got to give yourself enough time to actually see the changes, rather than just obsessing over the scale day to day.
Right.
And so that's one of the best things that I think you can do, is sometimes just put away the scale.
Yeah.
And go for it. Also, who doesn't love hearing about non-scale victories?
Yes.
One of my favorite things when doing this, I started realizing how much looser my pants were fitting as well. It's like, you know what, non-scale victory. How good does that feel when you are, notching your belt and you have to pull it just one more notch over that time than you could previously. And, when I did P90X a couple months ago, I felt the same thing. It's just, that one day I was like, suiting up, and then just realized, hey, I can pull this notch over just a little bit further into one more now. And it's just, it's kind of that, inner good feeling as well.
It's a really clear measurement that there's a change.
Absolutely. So
that's awesome.
Okay.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to
No. I mean,
put you on a little bunny trail there.
No worries. And it was just one of the things I was going to talk about. I saw that with P90X as well. And since my transformation with 21 Day Fix, I've done a lot of other programs like Body Beast, which I'm actually going to be starting up with next week as well.
Love it.
I'm joining with Wayne White and doing the Perfection Crew. That's looking forward to doing that with him. It's going to be great. So, but Body Beast, P90X, 21 Day Fix, 21 Day Fix Extreme, and then been loving every minute of it. And so that's just kind of the main thing with it. There's just a lot to do. And, and it's not just, a lot to do and, working on being healthy, but over these, many years of doing this, like I said, this started all the way back at the graduation of undergrad. And so it's been, 3 years since graduation, 5 years since I moved to Chicago. So it's a 5-year journey that I've been on since I started, and I've learned a lot. And so one of the reasons I became a Beachbody coach is to actually share that with other people as well. Like I said, when I started, I thought you could outwork a bad diet. That's absolutely not true. When you want to work out and eat healthy, it's not just pile on the greens and the dressing and eating healthy and then wondering why you're not getting the results. You have to track it, as one of my favorite mentors said, Darren Hardy says, if you want to see change, track it. And so track those calories, track your scheduled workout and follow along with Sean T or Tony Horton or whoever your trainer is, and just see those measurements from day to day, not the scale at day to day, but you'll see everything that's tracking, and you will see results by the end of that. And that's one of the great things of being a coach, helping people see those changes as well.
I'm curious to know. Let's see, good to see whether you. Oh, Colleen had a comment. I'll just share this for everybody else who isn't reading it. Good to see whether you have to lose 20 pounds or 200 pounds. It's a journey.
Yeah, that's absolutely what it is. It's a journey. It's like I said before, it's a journey full of ups and downs. Most people think it's straight line to success somewhere. You got detours and pitfalls and rainy weather, up mountains, down low valleys. You're all over the place on your journey. And through my various rounds of Insanity and P90X and 21 Day Fix, it's definitely a journey, and I've seen great results with it, and it's fun. That's one of the main things as well.
I know for me, one of the big reasons before I started with structured programs with Beachbody, I would make it up in the gym. I would read the magazines, go on the websites and see whatever the celebrities were doing. And I would get in these stints where I would work out really hard for a couple weeks and then get frustrated that I didn't immediately look like Ryan Reynolds. And then I'd be like, well, screw this. I'm not going to do this anymore. And then I'd be, sick of being out of shape. And I think just like what you said, it's about that journey. It's about kind of planning for those downturns and those detours that, help you to get to the success. I'm curious to know for you in your journey, what was the difference now between, being able to maintain your fitness for so many years rather than going on this yo-yo, this roller coaster that I think a lot of people go on.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail right on the head with that is, having a structured workout.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you do a Beachbody program and follow one right into another, because I can tell you, since doing the 21-day fix, a couple of years ago, it's been 21-day fix, or it was actually almost a year ago. That's when this picture was.
Mm-hmm.
It was 21-day fix for the summer, straight into Body Beast for the fall and winter. Then that started up with P90X at the beginning of this year. Did that for 6 months, which was a lot of fun. Straight into vacation time. Going through that, which I had a great time traveling, Nashville, Hawaii, vacation, Milwaukee, which was fun. And then right back into that, I've been doing 21-day fix extreme for a couple of weeks. And so, you can see where I have fun and, enjoy life and there's a lot to do, but when I'm working out, it's always one thing after another. And, I even have this, structured where, I'm starting with Body Beast next week and it's 90 days. It's going to finish the week right before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I'm going to go home for Christmas for a week back to Arizona, get out of the cold for a little bit.
Let us join you, please.
Anyways, but I go home for a little bit, a couple of weeks. I'll probably do my own thing for that much time while I'm on break. And then, this is kind of a sneak peek about that, but I'm really looking forward to Hammer and Chisel coming out next year. If you're with Beachbody and that program's coming out, that one I'm really excited about, and so I'm going to move straight into that. And so you can kind of see I got some great results, and had a fantastic time, and then definitely in best shape of my life since then. But it's just overall health. I've never fallen back. I've never gained all those 20 pounds back. And, fluctuating between here and there, depending on what program I'm doing, cutting, bulking, or maintenance kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But, it's never like an unhealthy level that I was at. And by having, this program that I do this next, and then this next, and then this next, that's how I maintain my health and fitness.
So having that structure is been huge.
Hugely important. It's not just going to the gym and winging it. I have my workout set for me, and I just go and do it. And it's not only simple to follow, but I enjoy them as well. I might be one of those crazy health nuts that has to get drenched in a workout. Otherwise, I feel like it wasn't that great of a workout.
It didn't work. So Colleen has a great question that kind of piggybacks on that. Who or what kept you motivated? Ooh,
that is a kind of a tough one, because
good job, Colleen.
Yeah, thanks. I guess it goes. Keeping what's kept me motivated has been just the why that I never want to go back to how I was before. There was that 20 pounds, eating unhealthy. Like I said. And I still love pizza, so I eat that one, but I can't remember the last time I had Subway. Can't remember the last time I had Taco Bell. It's just been that long where, that leaf, flipped over. I changed that, and, I just don't want to go back to that. That kind of desire to, always keep moving forward with just the fact that I enjoy a lot of the workouts that I do. I enjoy doing P90X. I enjoy doing Body Beast. All these workout programs are fun, and that's just another reason to keep pushing play and keep it going. Nobody likes doing something, or nobody wants to keep doing something they don't enjoy. Enjoy working out, you're going to keep doing it. And so that's another thing that's kept me motivated as well.
Now, a lot of us who are here in this group we're in our challenge group, our motivation group. And I know for me, having community, having people around me who are going in the same direction has definitely made it a whole lot easier for you. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that you're going to be joining one from Wayne Wyatt coming up next week. How has the role of community impacted you and your success?
Oh, this is probably something I felt like I should have mentioned beforehand, but this was absolutely huge. I can go back to this. It was unfortunate during my first round of Insanity, I actually was never contacted by my coach. So I was doing, unfortunately there are those out there, but, I never contacted, so I never was able to really get that help or that encouragement to keep going sometimes. Mm-hmm. And then going into my second one, that's actually when I found my current coach and team and have been with them since. And so, it's one of those things, as soon as you find people who are there with you, doing the same things, keeping you motivated, answering your questions, helping you out, doing those workouts with you and keeping you on track and accountable, man, that just keeps you going as well. You're trying to do it out there solo by yourself. It just feels so much tougher. And, you're only depending on yourself to keep going, and you're carrying all the weight. So, having that community, having that accountability, keeps you going for sure. At least it's definitely kept me going.
Yeah.
And the other great thing is, not only has it kept me accountable, but I've also learned so much from them as well.
Yeah.
My team is where, the huge team that I'm actually a part of, subdivision with Team Ripped, is Elite Home Fitness. And so with them, that's where they've posted a lot about all of those, what's healthy foods. And, if you have I'm sure you've seen these charts on, like, if you're craving a certain food, what your body really needs. And they posted that one. Yeah. And so that was helping me get off, like, snacking and stuff like that. And so, all the things, just the community where you start picking up all those little things over a period of time. And, I can't say where, like, I suddenly, where it's like I was eating this and then, now I'm like this, but it was just a slow transition from one to the other, just by being around those people, associating yourself with those, I guess other health nuts, so to speak. Right. You pick it up,
Iron tries iron.
Yeah. Or, my saying, you can't plant the mud without getting some of it on you.
Yeah.
If those people all the time, you're going to pick that, you're going to pick those things up, good or bad. That's what's going to happen.
So true. Guys, if you have questions, feel free to take yourself off mute, or you can put in the chat box. So far, Mike, you've talked about just the importance of having a structure with your workout. You can't out-work out a bad diet. Yep. That was huge. And then also having community around you to keep you going and share information. And that's, those all kind of work together. And of course, now you're a coach as well.
Yes.
So if you guys don't know how coaching works, just Beachbody pays us coaches, to help their people who bought their programs get results so that they're happy. So everybody's kind of a win-win situation there. So there's the financial
there's
influence
a reward
as well.
Yeah, it's not just emotional, but there's a financial reward where helping people. So you're sitting there. People are getting these great transformations, and you're talking about, you're just saying, hey, you are there to encourage them over and over again. And not only helping them with their program when they buy it, that's where you get compensated, but you've heard people talking about, or maybe you've received some, or you hear other coaches receiving them, emails just saying thank you so much for all that you've done. Didn't think at first, or it's all kind of the same things where it's like people maybe they didn't quite believe in themselves, or didn't think they can do it, or just didn't think they would have those transformations in such a life-changing experience. And that's what coaches help provide. They really do. You can see some great results with these programs, and the coaches are just there to help you with it every step of the way.
And you're not a salesperson.
Oh no, not at all.
He's an attorney.
I am an attorney as well. Beachbody coach and an attorney, So there's some good ones out there. So I tried to be.
This is the one. There he is. Let's see. David is saying, asking about Wayne's group. We can talk about that later. Also a question about Body Beast in the first round. David, do you want to take yourself off mute and talk about it?
Okay, I found the button. Okay, yeah. So I'm about to start my second round of Body Beast, actually, this coming Monday. So it sounds like I'll be on the same schedule with you, which is really great. When I did my first round of Body Beast, my main focus was fat reduction. And I kind of felt like I was a little bit sort of working at cross purposes, because I really wanted to lose fat, but I also wanted to put on some muscle. I was happy with the results, but this time I really want to see how much muscle I can put on. So, I mean, any thoughts about that? Any advice about that other than follow the food plan to the T?
Definitely follow the food plan. That's obviously the key thing with that one. I have a saying now that results are 80% nutrition, 20% workout.
Yep.
So you really do need to focus on what you eat. The main thing is also when you're talking about losing fat and gaining muscle, it's kind of an interesting it's an interesting paradigm that we have to live with. Our bodies aren't designed to really maximize, or is it not really efficient at doing both at the same time.
Right.
It's difficult to build muscle while also trying to lose fat, and vice versa. So with this one, I can tell you, don't be afraid, if you do put on a little bit of body fat, because that's good. That means you have your energy for, feeding the muscles when you're not always working out and throughout the day. So that's going to happen, and the way to limit that is to eat the right amount of calories and eat the right food as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how this gets into a little bit more technicalities, but I'm not sure how your body reacts to like certain foods. For me, I know that grains or something like that, I usually try to limit that or stay away from them completely, limit dairy as well. And so, we're trying to build, a lot of muscle mass without putting on too much body fat. Those are some of the foods that you're going to want to look at. Know yourself with that one. And, you're going to be eating a lot, but just eat the right amount of foods and the right kind of foods, and you'll see results. Yeah. Then, that's nutrition. So I want to focus on that. But then also in the workouts, the best thing that you can do is just lift heavy. These are designed as almost, a lot of these are almost like deadlifts, or not deadlifts, but dead sets. You are going to failure on most of these. So you start out with a little bit lighter, you get a little bit heavier, but that last set, when you're doing that one, it says 8 or so, you want to be like barely able to make 8 with how much weight you put on there.
Yeah.
So when you lift heavy, work out heavy, that's really going to be what builds your muscles as well. And then with nutrition, you're fueling them so they can grow properly as well.
Thank you.
Best of luck with that one.
Cool.
Go ahead.
And sleep.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Definitely need sleep. I've looked at the studies with this one as well. I'm sure Sagi can even agree with this one. We all know you kind of go in cycles with like REM sleep and, deepness of sleep at certain points. You definitely want, everybody's a little bit different, but, the 8 hours is definitely a huge recommendation, because it's when you're in the deepest part of the sleep, the downturn, if you see it, where you're really in the heavy REM cycle. That's actually where your body releases most of the protein and muscle building stuff, when you're in the huge, in the really deep part of the sleep. And so you have kind of 2 cycles with that usually, and they're 4 hours each. So when you're sleeping, you definitely want to hit both of those cycles, and the best way to do that is getting those 8 hours of sleep. So you're going to want to get those.
Cool.
Catch those Z's, man.
I feel like I need to go to bed now.
Yeah.
I definitely am. I'm going to sleep for 12 hours at least.
Coming back from a plane flight, I bet you're going to sleep a really long time with that one.
I am.
I hope you're not teaching tomorrow, David.
I am not. I'm
Well, good. Great. I'm going to do a little wrap up here. Okay. Mike, thank you so much for first of all, coming over to my house.
No, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
And just sharing your story. Awesome tips. Mm-hmm. Great transformation. And just really inspirational.
Thank you.
It's good to know that somebody can actually have the most success when they're the busiest trying to pass the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that just jumped out at me. Like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you feel like you don't have the time that you have to get structured enough to actually just do it.
Yep.
And I think that was just really powerful.
That's what it was. Like I said, during the bar exams, when I was able to finally finish Insanity, get great results from that one.
Yeah.
Busy as heck with it, but structure your time out, make time for your priorities, and everything's going to work out.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody is struggling with time, just know this guy did it, and you can too. So yeah, so again, thank you, and thank you to everybody who's watching and joining. Awesome questions and comments. Thanks to everybody on Periscope who's watching, and feel free to share this as well. And I think we all need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
With that,
Early morning.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening to me. Have a great rest of the night.
Broadcast. I'm gonna stop recording.